Well, it wasn't a shutout in Motown, but Nathan Evaldi put on one heck of a performance. Happy Mother's Day to all those mothers out there. We're going to talk about a special Mother's Day performance between Josh and Jace Young coming up next on the DLLS Rangers podcast. Hello, win column. Hello, win streak. I love it. It's something we
That's true.
really haven't gotten to say much. I'm Abby Jones, joined with Jeff Wilson. John Radigan is out today. The Prophet counting us down, doing his thing. But what a great Mother's Day. I can't think of a better way to celebrate.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers who might be listening, to my mom, to my wife, who I already showered with gifts and pleasantries. And yeah, you know, what's it like? What's it like for Mary Young and Jeff Young when they go to church or go to, I don't know, a party? Like, oh, nice to meet you. What do your kids do? You know, they're in baseball.
They're both in the big leagues and the big
Baseball.
show.
What do they do? The scouts or coaches? No, they're in the major leagues. Really? You know, I mean,
Yeah, and
like a total bragging right thing,
Right.
Like, you know, if they were racehorses, they would be like put out to stud, you know, to just to just come up and create baseball players. So that's pretty awesome for them, for any family. You know, Brett Boone was hired this week, and his dad and grandfather both played in the major leagues, and his little brother. So it happens, but it hasn't happened to the Rangers, at least not for a while. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's not many brothers that get to, have the feat of playing. You know, we have Corey Seager with his brother, Nathaniel Lowe with his, but there's only been 7 brothers in Major League history play on Mother's Day against each other. So this was a pretty special one. This was actually the first time in their Major League careers that Josh and Jace had the opportunity to play against each other. They shared 1 year in high school, and Jace was a freshman, Josh was a senior. And this was
Tech.
Yeah.
Oh no, in high school, and then in Texas Tech, they were together a year, I think. Maybe
Well,
I'm wrong.
This is their first time playing against and across the diamond with each other,
Yeah.
and they true competitors. Not only as far as the score, they were playing tic-tac-toe in the dirt the other day. They said nobody won.
Okay, well, you know, I was wondering if like the grounds crew had to go out during, you know, like they do every couple innings and clean it up and rake it away. But you know, I don't know if they interacted a ton because it's not often that, you know, a runner gets to third base. But I guess it happened today because Josh went first to third on a hit. The throw hit him in the back, and I'm sure he had something to say at that point. But, you know, the big blasts really, I don't want to say of the game, but it really gave Nathan Evaldi some breathing room, was Josh's 2-run homer, which obviously, you know, what better gift to give your mom, right, than a home run. Jace made an error, so I don't know if she wants that. She can give that one back, but that's a pretty cool deal, and I'm sure that Josh, it's not lost on him. He's very deep in his thinking, and I'm sure that was one of his first thoughts as he connected, because it was kind of a no-doubter.
Yeah.
But, you know, so he hit the home run. Marcus Semien got it started with a 2-run homer to get the Rangers going. Jonah Heim hit a home run. So a 3-homer game, a series win. This is the first time the Rangers have won a series since mid-April.
Yeah.
They'd lost 6 straight. They lost 5 straight on the road. So this was a needed victory. And like Rarity said right off the top, win streak. Rangers won 2 in a row. Gosh, they haven't won 2 games in a row in forever.
Yeah. And 8 home runs in this game, too. You know, offense has been such an issue for these Texas Rangers in 2024. 5, but to do it against the best team in the American League, I mean, that's no easy feat, especially, their best guys, Tarek Skubal. The Rangers were shut down in game
Yeah.
1, but then lights out pitching performances from Jacob deGrom, Nathan Eovaldi. We'll get into that later. But also, the Tigers have the second best home record in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
So they really haven't dropped a series at home, and they definitely haven't dropped 2 in a row. So the Rangers did get to, hand them something pretty significant this weekend.
Yeah, it was a 3-3 road trip's pretty good. That's what you want to do on the road. That's what you need to do on the road if you're going to be a playoff team. And the Rangers, I think, now are 8-13 on the road, so they have some things to clean up. But they haven't won a series at Fenway Park since 2015. So they kind of had the Red Sox have had their number there. And then the new hitting coach Brett Boone was brought in on Tuesday. So it was a notable road trip for the Rangers this year. Probably the most notable just because of everything that happened. But yeah, I mean, people were down on the offense because they couldn't do anything in the opener against the Tigers. Like, well, gosh dang it, it's Tarek Skubal.
Right.
It's not like he was facing you and me out there. They were facing the man in the American League right now. So to bounce back and end up with 2 wins, and Jack Flaherty's a good pitcher, and this young fellow that pitched for them today has a heck of a changeup. So they saw good pitching. Detroit has good pitching, and the Rangers were just better.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And, Jacob deGrom got a little bit of insurance, which is not something that he's been too fortunate to have in his career. So do you think that this is going to be a turning point for the Rangers? I mean, when Jock Peterson hit his first home run of the season, I think everybody collectively, it was a huge sigh of relief.
I think so. Yeah, the reaction was pretty apparent that they knew what he has been going through, and he's a very likable guy, and that's part of the reason why the Rangers probably overpaid to get him was to ensure his clubhouse presence. And he's different now. He's not Marcus Semien. He's
Mr. Quiet Guy.
He's pretty quirky, and he'll bail not necessarily in his routine, but walk up song. If he's in a slump, he'll change his walk up song. So he's probably changed it 8 or 9 times this season, and he's using the torpedo bat now, and has had some success with it. And he had a good road trip today, notwithstanding. He drew 5 walks, and coming into today was 5 for 11 on the trip. And so that's progress. His batting average is above 100.
Yeah.
So good stuff from him on the trip. And you're thinking it's positive momentum going forward. So we'll see how it goes. But he actually it's weird to not be talking about a loss, for a series loss or a loss in general. I guess they won last Sunday, but other than that, man, it's been a dry spell for these post-game shows. Yeah,
no pun intended, with the Rockies coming in town. But it's funny that you mentioned Jock Peterson. I was watching the game yesterday, and the team reporter Laura said that Jock's one of the more superstitious guys in the clubhouse.
Yeah,
he has changed his walk-up song every day. He changes his bats. He told her that, sometimes bats just run out of hits. So, he's not the problem. It was the bat. And Rangers' new offensive coordinator, Brett Boone, was talking. He loves, baseball bats. He and Jock have a very quirky interest and a very niche conversation about it. So Jock kind of seems like he's found his guy when it comes to, the left brain side of that. But for Jock to have success, for Marcus Semien to have success today, has been a little bit of a slow start too.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of things that need to click at the right time for the Rangers. We'll get into Corey Seager. He did not start in today's game, even though he had 2 home runs yesterday. We'll get more on the update there. But, I mean, there's a lot of variables for a successful outcome versus a loss. And the Rangers, luckily today, were on the good side of it.
Yeah, and, obviously everyone can point at the pitching. And when they score, when the Rangers score more than a run, it's exciting. But they play really good defense. They just don't have a lot of holes when they're clicking. And that's the thought. The thought is that when this offense finally catches up And when if the pitching staff, even if it regresses, let's say the rotation regresses by a half a run, its ERA is still 3.5. It's still one of the best rotations around. So, yeah, if nothing else, this series, even the pitching and defense on Friday, the offense wasn't there, but even if with those two elements, it shows that the Rangers can be really, really good. And this product that was on the field this weekend is a lot closer to what people thought they would be. Even if you go back to the beginning of the season, when they still weren't scoring a ton of runs. I mean, they didn't score 7 runs until that trip at the end of April to Oakland, Sacramento. But geez, yeah, it's nice to see this outcome and against a good team too. Of course, the Rangers have only played good teams.
Yeah.
The only team with below 500 record they've played is the Angels. So don't discount that either. At some point, the schedule's going to lighten up, and we'll get to that in the last segment because the lightest of foes is coming. But yeah, just a good weekend, and then with the young family storyline kind of hanging over it, just kind of a whole feel good thing.
Baseball is beautiful. I didn't get to wish my mom a happy Mother's Day. I know she's watching, so happy Mother's Day, Mom. Thank you for all that you do. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be fun the next few days at Globe Life Field.
It should be.
We've got, so like Jeff mentioned, the Rangers have played the 3rd toughest schedule in Major League Baseball up to this point. But good news, 28 out of the next 53 games are going to be against the 8 worst teams in the major leagues.
Yeah, and this is kind of when you get hot. You got to beat the teams you're supposed to beat. And the Rangers, they're a game under 500 right now, playing this really tough schedule. So you could argue they're kind of hanging in there, treading water, waiting for the schedule to take a friendly turn. Now they have the Rockies, then they have the White Sox next week, Astros and Yankees in between. So it's not going to be just coasting here the next 50 however many games, but it's time. It is time for them to go on a run.
Yeah.
And Bruce Bochy was saying it last week. He said we're an 8-2 stretch away from being really, really in a great position. And again, if they go 8-2, they're probably back in first place in the division. It's a tight division. Don't know if it's a good division, but it's not like Seattle's running away with this thing. So the Rangers are just fine. Kind of like we've been saying. The pitching's been keeping them afloat, keeping them in contention. And if this offense continues to crank out runs, they're going to take off.
So we're about a quarter of the way through the season.
Mm-hmm.
What are your takeaways so far?
Well, the pitching's fantastic. You can't say enough about the pitching. The bullpen's probably the biggest pleasant surprise. Yeah, because there was such a concern coming into the season, like no closer and all this stuff, and the Rangers have figured out a way to make it work. And I know the bullpen they have now. Poor old Chris Martin's like 0-4, but it's because he comes in close games, and if he gives up a run if he gives up a run, he's going to lose maybe, and so it's they've been good. They've been really, really good. The rotation's been terrific too, of course. Probably better than the bullpen has been. And with Eovaldi and DeGrom and the emergence of Tyler O'Malley, that's probably the biggest individual surprise.
Oh, yeah.
He pitches tomorrow. He's been fantastic. His ERA is 1.48. So you have like 3 guys you feel awesome about. And then Patrick Corbin, hello, how about that guy?
Pleasant surprise.
Coming out of nowhere. Coming off an ERA last year, I think it was 5.68 or something like that, and he's just pitching his tail off, and he's a good guy. He has to do it differently. Like he's got to navigate, and some of those walks. He issued a couple walks yesterday that came back to bite him. He has to nibble a little bit. He can't challenge. His misses over the middle of the plate go a long way. So he's real pleasant surprise. And then you have Leiter, who really needs to find it. He has the stuff. He's a better pitcher than he was last year. He's still not putting away hitters. You look at who's hurt. Kumar Rocker's going to come back. John Gray, Cody Bradford coming back. Josh Spor's coming back. So, you just have to feel really good about where things are headed, especially if this is more like the offense that everybody expected going forward than what they saw basically the first 35 games.
Correct. All right, we are going to get into the starting pitching because it was almost a shutout performance by Nathan Eovaldi. Coming up next after the break.
Hey, guess what? It's Sleeper. Everybody who watches this knows that this is my favorite app on my entire phone. It used to be the American Airlines app because I travel a lot. Now it's the Sleeper app. If you use the code DLLS Rangers, you get up to $100 match on your first deposit. It's known for the fantasy stuff, Sleeper, but now it's daily fantasy picks. I have several going as we speak. I missed my baseball one today, though. I had Nathan Eovaldi less than 1.5 walks. It's automatic. I did that with DeGrom yesterday, too. Yep. Pablo Lopez, though, for the Twins came up and bit me in the butt. But that's all right. I'm not betting the farm. That's just it. You can bet $1. All right, I did $3 on this one, so my wife's not going to get too mad at me on Mother's Day, which is good. So again, download the Sleeper app. Use the code DLLS Rangers, and you can get up to $100 on your match on your first deposit.
All you've got to really do is, give your earnings to her. And
yeah,
then she's happy.
Yeah.
Nails, hair, all the things. But, Jeff, did you know it's playoff hockey time in Texas?
I think I can hear it.
I can hear it. Did
the
Stars just score? Because
I don't know, but the crowd's going crazy down there at American Airlines Center, which is, 3 blocks away from us?
Yeah, they are rocking. And if we wanted to, after our post-game show...
They did just score?
We could hit up Game Time and get the best seat, the best option, the cheapest price. You actually get to see where you're going to sit before you make the purchase. I don't know if you've ever purchased a seat somewhere and you're horrible view.
Oh, yeah.
So you avoid all of that. They have all of these... they don't have any hidden fees, so you're not going to, you think it's $80 and then you get to check out and it's $260 with all of the hidden fees. So Game Time is going to be your place during this Dallas Stars playoff run. It's going to be fun. They're a competitive team and wishing the best for the Stars. So download the app today. Use the code DLLS, $20 off of your first purchase. And what time is it?
Game time.
Game time.
Yeah, Jim Rockford there, back in the chat. I am also following the Nuggets Oklahoma City game, but I am on the Nuggets side of things. Having grown up there, they're my basketball team if I have one. It's the Nuggets. So I'm not mad at you, Jim. All right.
Well, let's talk about the starting pitching today. Nathan Eovaldi, Mr. Reliable.
Yeah.
You cannot say anything bad about Nathan Eovaldi.
No, you can't.
He is always dialed in. Let's take a look at what he did today against the Detroit Tigers. 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, 0 earned runs, 1 walk, 7 Ks. This is the second time he pitched 7 or more innings in an outing this season. Nathan Eovaldi was lights out.
Yeah, and I bet he's telling the reporters there right now that he really struggled, how he was like all over the place and fell behind too many batters and couldn't command anything. And oh my God, it sounded like he's going to give up 10 runs and he ends up giving up 3 base runners in 7 innings, which is spectacular. His ERA continues to shrink and shrink and shrink. It was it was definitely top 10 in the league.
It was 9
entering
before
the game today.
Started.
So it's tumbling down more and more and more. And what a guy to have. What a 1-2 punch to have, with
DeGrom
and Eovaldi, and they're getting some run support now, which is crazy. And hey, again, it's this 3-headed monster with Malley in there, and let's not get too carried away here with this great weekend. But imagine those 3 in a short series.
I'm taking those.
If you have those 3 in a best of 5, a best of 7, best of 5, you gotta like the chances there. So, but again, long way to go. But things couldn't be getting off to a much better start for those 3, but especially Nathan. Gosh, it's just he's a battler, and when you have all those pitches, if you're having trouble commanding 1 or 2 of them, you can just go ahead and go to your 3rd best pitch or your 3rd and 4th best pitch and and keep hitters guessing and keep them off balance. What a arsenal, what a weapon, what a tool set to have there. Because again, and he was a little wild. The first two batters of the game, he fell behind them 2-0. He actually walked a guy today. That's
Yeah,
his fifth walk
rare.
of the season. Only his fifth walk. 5 walks this season.
It's ridiculous.
He had the best entering the game. He had the best strikeout to walk ratio in the majors. I'd imagine it's still first. I mean, he didn't really do anything to hurt it too badly, other than that terrible walk. But man, what a pitcher, and the Rangers wanted him back. He was the key to their offseason. The whole plan evolved centered around Nathan Eovaldi, and he hasn't disappointed so far.
I agree. He's actually only walked 2% of batters this season.
That's crazy.
Best in Major League Baseball. And to put that into perspective, MLB average is 7%.
Okay.
That's
yeah.
I mean,
it's good.
That makes your mind
he,
explode.
He's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's no indication or no reason to think that it's not going to stay good. I mean, It's not like he's hurt. He's been durable. He's been going out and logging innings, 7 more innings today. Kind of, not that the Rangers had to use their best guys yesterday, but, kind of helped set up the bullpen for the week. And just all kinds of good things happen when Nathan Eovaldi pitches.
Let's take a look at the pitching from this past weekend, too, because like you said, I mean, it was, what a 1-2 punch with Jacob deGrom, Nathan Eovaldi. And one thing that you brought up was, if you talk to Nathan Eovaldi after the game, he's going to say, oh, well, I didn't like this about my outing or this. I bet you Jacob deGrom said the same thing the other
100%.
day because of those 2 home runs.
Right.
Even though he, 10 strikeouts and then set a season high of 20 swings and misses.
Yeah, he's there was the Skubal in his outing the other night had 32 swings and misses. And so Sarah Langs from MLB.com, who's like the stats guru, she tweeted out the most swings and misses in a start. I can't remember in a certain period. And Jacob deGrom had a start where he had 34 with the Mets in 2020, and that was the most. I mean, this is how good that guy is, he's the home run that he gave up to Carpenter, the leadoff homer. He said he threw it exactly where he wanted it. And Carpenter just beat him to the spot and got the barrel out. And the second one by Riley Green, it looked like it was a hanging curveball that Green got. But when deGrom is dotting the edges, when he's able to command his fastball, he's just trouble. And it was pretty interesting that last batter he faced, it ended up being a walk, and Andy Fletcher just flat missed 2 pitches, and deGrom got mad. deGrom, he knows.
Oh yeah,
he knows, and it was he knew he was running out of pitches, but for him to be successful, umpires have to give him the bottom of the strike zone, and Andy Fletcher was very inconsistent with that yesterday. So Jacob let him hear about it, and you don't see that from Jacob very much. I know he's a competitor, he's a perfectionist, and he gets fired up, but I thought that was kind of maybe out of character, but kind of refreshing. It's like, hey, all right, he's not a robot out there. He actually has a little personality, and he does, of course, but he let old Andy have it.
Well, I was shocked that he kind of reeled it back in too, because when he was exiting the game, I thought he was really going to go have a word with him. And then Luke Jackson too at the end when the pitch comm wasn't really working, and that was a whole debacle too. But no, for Jacob deGrom to show those emotions. I mean, again, it's like a guy like Corey Seager. That home run in the World Series that Corey hit was one of the most incredible things because, well, number one, it was it was game-tying home run in the World Series, but also it's from Corey Seager, and he never shows emotion. I think I tweeted, we've waited, I don't know, 760-something days to see Corey Seager show any emotion.
Yeah.
Finally did it, worth the wait.
Yeah.
But yeah, for Jacob deGrom to kind of show that side of him, again, it's pretty good. And also, this was his 8th start of the season, and I think that's a lot further than a good bit of fans even said he could go.
A very cynical fan base out there. Not fan base, but fans out there. And now, I mean, let's be honest. If we're being honest, the last 4 years, he hasn't pitched a lot. He made only 6 starts with the Rangers in 23 before the Tommy John. So, it's nothing but positives, and the Rangers have tried to monitor the innings, and they're trying to save his bullets, but he hasn't been skipped yet. He does not have an extra day between starts this time, so that'll be interesting. Probably wouldn't expect him to go very deep in these games. Also, this next start also, but you can't. And it was a little bumpy at start, I guess, for Jacob DeGrom. It was bumpy, but his ERA's down under 3, down around 2.5 now, and again, you just saw it. He gave up the homer, struck out the next 7 guys.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, he was like, the hell with this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you might get one, but you're not getting many.
No, not at all.
You're not getting
when
many.
He's right.
Yeah. Well, this starting rotation has been excellent for the Rangers, and they mentioned on the broadcast, this Tigers team, one of the best in baseball offensively. They're such a threat.
Right.
Prior to this series, the least that the Tigers scored in a series was 10 runs.
Yeah.
The Rangers held them to 5.
Right.
I mean, we've talked about the importance of pitching and, how important that is, especially when there is no run support.
Mm-hmm.
But for them to go in and shut down these teams when they do have, they have room. They have room for error because of the runs. But they still didn't do that.
Yeah.
For that, I think that's a pretty telling sign.
Yeah. Well, it's nice for them to actually have a little cushion to play with, and these have been stressful innings for these guys, all of them, and we're talking about poor old Chris Martin being 0-4 despite pitching very well. There's when your team doesn't score, there's no margin for error. When a team loses 3-2, a team shouldn't lose 3-2. It's going to happen every once in a while, but it shouldn't happen 5 times a week, and that's where the Rangers were not that long ago. And I'm not saying that they've cleared it by any means yet, but there's more optimism about the offense. They scored 6 runs Tuesday, 4 on Wednesday, and then 0 and 1. But then they came back with however many they scored yesterday, 10, and then 6 today. So you feel like maybe this is the start of what they said was going to happen, and maybe it did take the dismissal of a hitting coach for it to happen, though. I don't know. Still some guys who need to get hot, though. The home run today by Simeon's a good sign, but he still needs to, find it. Adolis has been better, I've thought. Josh Smith continues to be great. Evan Carter had a nice series, and his I guess a good week in his return to the majors. So a lot of positive things there, and we'll get into this a little later. They're going to be getting some more help coming back off the injured list too.
Yep. Kevin Gray, how you doing, Kev? Concerns with Corey Seager. We're going to get into that next. I think there was one question in the chat about changes with the offense since the release of Donnie Ecker.
Yeah, it's not something that was going to happen overnight. It's not like all of a sudden everybody was going to start getting 3 hits a night. But and Brett Boone still, I think, is in observation mode. But there are just certain things that you can look at and be like, well, why did I get out? The hitter asks. Well, because you took 2 fastballs down the middle.
Right.
If it's a see ball hit ball thing a lot of times. It is getting back to being simple, and I think the game plan also might need to be tweaked, or the Rangers maybe couldn't make the right adjustment. Like they came in with the right game plan and made a pitcher work, an inning or 2, a starter, and then next thing you know, the starter's still going in the 6th when he should have been out of the game in the 3rd or 4th. So maybe it's making the right adjustment. Maybe that's something Brett Boone's going to be able to see clearly. And I mean, they talked about it again today on the broadcast. Go back and look at his 2001 season. I mean, he was on the best regular season team in MLB history, and Ichiro won the MVP that year. Brett Boone was 2nd. He drove in 141 runs. I mean, this is a guy that could flat hit, and he had great lineup, of course. But he just, if you didn't see our mini pod with Mark McLemore, go watch that, because Mac was talking about how Brett Boone, when Mac and Brett were teammates in Seattle, Brett Boone could break down a pitcher, could just find a mistake and tell everybody how to exploit it or what to look for and how to exploit it. So a guy, you just don't lose that. You just don't lose that. So that'll be interesting to see how this evolves going forward. But again, if you want to give him credit for these last 6 games, go ahead. Somebody deserves it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take it. All right, coming up next, we are going to break down Corey Seager and potential IL stint. We shall see. Jeff's going to tell you about Rugged Roads.
Well, it is cooler weather. Have you, especially this week? Have you seen the forecast for this week? It's supposed to be tomorrow's supposed to be nice. Then it's gonna be like 95, 100.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're getting a big heat wave coming in here, a May heat wave. So it's cooler weather, and Rugged Road will supply you with the best coolers on the market. They're durable, they're lightweight, and for all of you who like to float the river or whatever, any kind of water activities, these things float, and they float upright. So that's even a better thing. They're big, they're roomy, they'll keep your stuff cool for up to 7 days. So for us, we have kids playing baseball and softball all the time. Rugged Roads are cooler. So here's what you do: you go to ruggedroadoutdoors.com, use that code DLLS, you get 10% off of your purchase.
It's mighty generous.
Yes.
While you're there, go ahead and check out Shady Rays. Summertime, honestly, I'm a sunglasses year-round kind of girl.
You are, yeah.
But they also have prescriptions as well. Have you looked into them?
I need to get to the eye doctor. That's something I need to do here in the next 3 weeks. So
well, I hope you find the time.
I will.
Shady Rays, our friends, they were so kind to send us all a pair. I love mine. I use mine all the time. I got kind of the Bryce Harper
I remember those
going.
Yeah,
so whenever I go for a run, Shady Rays, though, they literally will not break. They're pretty dang durable. They're also affordable. They have so many styles, hundreds of options. You can even do team colors. So if you wanted to do a little Rangers powder blue for Sunday game, be my guest. And if they go missing or if you break them, they have a great protection plan. So you're not going to be spending a bunch of money over and over unless you buy more pairs. So
well, there you go.
Don't love your pick? You've also got 30 days to make the switch. Use the code DLLS. You get 35% off on polarized sunglasses. Great deal.
Yeah, it is. It is, and we're about to show off the sleeper leaderboard between me and the 3 also rans here.
Oh yeah,
I have come back.
Leading.
I have come back closer to earth here. I've been kind of around 500 the last few weeks.
We need to talk to Sam.
I also play a lot, so I have a lot of fun with this, like I said during the ad read. But yeah, so 21-15. That does not include this week. I think I went 6-4 this week. I want a soccer bet. They have what's called protected picks with Sleeper, and so you can just bet, and if you lose, you get your money back.
Oh.
So, but sometimes it's for like
it's easy.
The EPL, which I know nothing about.
Right.
So I took $5 and I just picked 5 guys who would score under their goal total. Because nobody scores in soccer. So I won because 4 guys didn't score a goal. So, hey,
if it makes money, it makes sense.
Sometimes it's just fun. So anyway, yeah, I'm dominating. But I am getting, 500 is coming closer. I knew at some point the luck would turn, but I didn't win that soccer bet, so maybe my fortunes. Maybe I'm about to go on a little win streak like the Rangers.
Well, I was gonna say, if you want to, put your money double down, do it when Seager is in the lineup. Listen to this stat: when Seager is in the lineup, the Rangers are 15-11, almost 4 runs per game, over 700 OPS. When Seager is out, they are 4-10, 2 runs per game, and barely above 500 OPS. I mean, difference maker.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I wrote a story about that earlier, I guess it was technically last week. Today's Sunday, the start of the new week. And it, you saw it last weekend. He came back on Saturday. They lost the game, only scored a run, but like everything was just better. Like the at-bats were better. The contact was better. There were more base runners. Then the next day they had the big inning against the Mariners, and and he had the big hit, and then he hit. I think he had the hit that started the rally at Boston on Tuesday. So the guy can make a huge difference. And you saw it yesterday. 2 homers and a double. So yeah, the Rangers need to keep him healthy. The issue is, does he need to go back on the injured list? And I'm sure they could make a heck of an argument that he could. Is his lack of availability, if he's only available 3 days a week, is that limiting Bruce Bochy's maneuverability? Is he able to do the things he wants to do in game, knowing that he can't play Corey Seager? He said, Bochy said today that Corey couldn't even DH today.
Yeah.
So that kind of raised the alarm for me. It's like, if he could have DH'd, he would have been in there. He doesn't have to play shortstop, but for him to not be able to even DH, that's concerning. I'm guessing though they'll give him tomorrow to rest it and get some treatment at home. Maybe go get a new MRI. Maybe it got a little bit worse. I don't know, but it's a problem because the guy is such a difference maker. Now they did win today without him.
Yeah,
and they have won without him, but boy, he just makes such a difference. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, and yesterday, you were thankful that his at bats were home runs because he got to take his time running around the bases.
Yeah, right.
But they even said, they're not pushing him on a base hit. They're just not going to do that. So, it's problematic. I mean, I think that's probably the only word because Corey Seager being in the lineup versus being out is a huge problem. And Josh Smith right now staying at first base because Jake Berger's down. I mean, now you're looking to Ezekiel Duran to play that shortstop role. Does great with it. And, I think Josh Smith is the utility man for the Rangers, as he should be. But I think people also forget Ezekiel Duran's contributions over the few years. And, he's really a plug-and-play kind of guy. He's able to step up. It's not Corey Seager, but it's not a bad option there either.
Well, Duran had his first 2 hits of the season today. One was a little flare. The next one was a solid double. They sent him down to AAA because he wasn't able to hit. They wanted to find his timing and his rhythm. Well, he has. His at-bats have been better. And today he finally saw some fruits of his labor. And so if the guy plays, he's good. You go look at it, what he did in AAA. He was in batting like 350. I mean, he was killing it. And but a young guy has to play. It's not like Kevin Pillar or Travis Jankowski last year. These guys who have been part-time players at times and are veterans and know their swing so well and know the pitchers so well and are able to quickly adjust and stay sharp without the at-bats. But you can't do that with Ezekiel. So, it becomes then interesting if Corey does his sudden surge, if you will, at the plate make it a little bit easier for the Rangers to put Seager on the injured list. I'm not saying they equate at all, but if Duran is confident and is a little bit confident, then maybe that helps the Rangers out. But I'm not sure. I think tomorrow they'll let Corey have tomorrow, and then they will have to make a decision eventually, though, I think.
Yeah, and you kind of got to think about long term too.
Yeah,
it is May, but these games matter just as much as the ones in September. I want to switch a little bit to Marcus Semien too, because he hasn't been at that leadoff spot for quite some time. Josh Smith doing really well there. He had his first leadoff home run the other day. What's your takeaway from Semien this season and the struggles that he's had?
Yeah, it hasn't been very good, and it kind of stood out. I guess it was Thursday's game against Boston when he left 10 runners on base or 12 runners or something like that in a game when they really should have scored a considerable amount of runs against Brian Bayo, the Red Sox pitcher. But and there are times where you think he's hit a ball hard and it just kind of doesn't have anything behind it. Now, the home run obviously was well struck. He got robbed on a ground ball that was hit at 103 miles per hour. So there were some positive things today. Even his other two outs that he made were good, decent looking results. He seemed to drive the ball a little bit more than he had been in recent games, but it needs to get better. And and you can look at his history, and he's a slow starter. 22, for instance, bad April. He started to pick it up a little bit in May, but he didn't hit his first home run until May 28th of that year.
Mm-hmm.
It was a day game at Oakland. It was a grand, and still ended up popping a few and having a nice enough season. But this isn't good enough. I mean, it needs to be.
He'll tell you that himself. I think we unplugged. No, Marcus Semien will tell you that himself.
I unplugged my own microphone. I'm fiddling with it. Yeah, he'll tell you that, but he doesn't like to talk about the negative stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, Marcus, what's going on? He's like, I prefer to look at the positives. Like, well, there's not a lot, Marcus, right now. So what positive can you tell us? Well, the little home run today helped. So, I think you just have to wait it out because he's gonna play. Maybe he moves down in the order, maybe to 7th. I would think 7th might not be a bad spot for him, but he plays such good defense that you gotta, if you're not going to score runs, you got to prevent runs, and having him at second base helps with that. But again, with his salary and the commitment they still have left, plus his track record, let's not forget about the track record. It wasn't, he's a good player. He's going to keep playing.
Well, it's important that these two click because, I mean, Corey Seager, for the past 3 years with the Texas Rangers, 30 or more home runs every season wearing a Rangers uniform. Marcus Semien, not 30, but pretty dang close. So those guys, contributing 60 home runs during the season, you can almost pencil that in. Right now, he's at 2.
3. He hit his third today.
Today
was his third. The Stars just scored. It's 2-1 in
40
the first
games played.
Yeah.
So gonna need a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
Maybe this Rocky series.
Maybe. Hey, you never know. You never know. But okay. So Seager is his status is up in the air, but it looks like the Rangers should be getting Kyle Higashioka back today, and or not today, but this week, and possibly Jake Berger.
Saw he had a home run today.
Jake hit a home run. He's had 2 home runs since in a week, and now they are playing at El Paso. The ball absolutely flies at El Paso, but you still got to hit it hard to get it out of there. And he has 2 homers. He's had some other hits. He's had some walks. And I think this is kind of what the Rangers were seeking when they sent him out. Go down there, take the pressure off, get back to where you are when you're your best, and be comfortable and free your mind, all that crap, and then come back. And I think that the Rangers never expected him to be down for more than the 10 days. And so I would not be surprised if he is back in the lineup tomorrow. So that'd probably spell the end for Blaine Krim. And then with Seager's uncertainty health-wise, I'm guessing that Tucker Barnhart will be designated for assignment, the catcher. But I was wondering if Seager were healthy, if the Rangers would consider keeping 3 catchers for a little while, because Barnhart may not clear.
Right.
Catching is always at a premium, especially in season. He's a handy guy. He's got 2 stinking Gold Gloves in his career. He's really good defensively. He had 3 hits the other day. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't clear. I think somebody could claim him. And if so, then that hurts your catching depth. So, everybody talks about preserving pitching depth. Well, catching depth is pretty important.
I'm gonna.
And so, I guess once he got moved up to the major leagues, the Rangers moved up Cooper Johnson to AAA, and he was in big league camp, so that's good. But if Tucker is DFA'd and gets claimed, then your catching depth is Chad Wallach, who's been in the majors before with the Angels, and then it's Cooper Johnson, who's had about 2 weeks now above AA. So is that something to contemplate doing? I don't think they can if they're concerned about Seager being unable to. If they're going to wait it out, they're going to try to wait it out. Now, if they put him on the IL, then yeah, you could conceivably keep Tucker, but we'll just have to wait and see how that plays out.
And Corey Seager's one of the toughest guys in that clubhouse too. I mean, for him to go down, he's hurting pretty bad.
Yeah.
All right, well, we've got more coming up as we clean it up around the league, but we're going to talk to you about joining and becoming a diehard. It's just been fun. We've had a lot of fun things to cover lately. The NFL draft recently. We've got Stars hockey playoffs. Rangers are in full swing. The NBA lottery is tomorrow for the draft. Monday. Tomorrow. That's Monday. So you want to be a diehard because the memberships basically pay for themselves. When you purchase the membership, you get a free shirt. And then you get incredible news articles from guys like Jeff Wilson.
Especially me.
Tim Cato, Clarence Hill with the Cowboys. I mean, it's the resource if you're a Dallas sports fan.
Yeah.
So sign up today. Join us and be a diehard. We're going to have all these events that you don't want to miss out. You get 20% off events when you sign up. Free content, and you're basically going to sound like the smartest Dallas sports fan in the world if you read everything.
Yeah, I've known Clarence for half my life.
Really?
He and I worked at the Fort Worth newspaper for a long time together. He started doing high schools and quickly ascended to Cowboys. And he's been there forever. But the record's like 500. Like, he's never won a Super Bowl. He's never been to a conference championship game. Yeah. So maybe Clarence is bad luck, but he's a hell of a reporter. I mean, it's
we'll blame it on Clarence.
It's really amazing the stuff that he can turn out and come up with. Joe Hoyt, let's not forget we have Joy.
Yep.
Joe does a very good job. And then Sam, of course, is over at the arena right now. We got the Stars crew. If you didn't catch their pregame show, they're in there watching the game and getting ready for the postgame show. So, yeah, and then the freaking lottery. Maybe the Mavs can get Cooper Flagg.
Don't hold your breath.
Spectacular, but yeah,
don't hold your breath.
2% chance of the number one pick, I believe. But anyway, like Abby said, you get a free shirt when you become a diehard, and I got the Dallas horseshoe on.
I think that one is Rad's favorite.
Yeah, I think you're right. I was gonna do a count today. I was doing some laundry at home. But
on how many you have?
Yeah,
it's got to be over 15.
It's somewhere in that neighborhood. Yeah, so and there are more I want to get, and then I want to get hats when those bad boys come out, and they can't be far away. It's usually about the 10-month mark when the hats come out. So once June rolls around, I'd love to see some hats out there.
You gotta call Mark Stein. He had a special.
I'll wear them every
branded.
day. I'm not in the same league as Mark Stein, but anyway, become a diehard, and then go to store.allcitynetwork.com.
Become a diehard. All right, let's talk about around the league. So much is happening.
Well, let's preview that series coming up here for our fighting Texas Rangers.
Your home team. Do you claim them?
Well, the Rockies started my senior year of high school, so '93 was their first season, and so I've never really had a relationship with the Rockies. My parents were season ticket holders for a while, but I never have been a huge Rockies guy. Even though those early teams are a lot of fun to watch if you like home runs and bad pitching. This Rockies team is atrocious.
Horrible.
They're terrible.
They are maybe on pace to match the White Sox last year.
They're gonna beat the White Sox if they keep this up. They're entered today 6-33. They are on pace to go 37-125.
That's just bad.
It's not bad. It's historically brutal. They're gonna win today though. They're gonna win today. They're winning 9-3, going to the ninth inning after losing 21-0 yesterday. So they've got all kinds of problems. I mean, to not score at Coors Field is hard. To give up 21 is not hard. I think it's harder to not score than to give up 21 runs there. But you kind of look at the pitching matchups coming in for the series that begins tomorrow. 3-game series at Globe Life Field tomorrow night. You've got Chase Dolander on the mound for the Rockies against Tyler Mahle, as we discussed. Kyle Freeland on Tuesday against Jack Leiter. Then Antonio Senzatella Wednesday against Patrick Corbin, and you kind of look at the numbers and you're like, my God, how could the Rangers not win all three of
We
these
have a
games?
graphic, Elijah.
And then anyway, Dolander, you guys know Dolander. If you followed baseball at all, he's the young hotshot guy, former first round draft pick. For a while there, he went to Tennessee. He was in the conversation to be the first overall pick a few years ago. There is a belief within the Rangers organization that if the 2020 draft had not been shortened to 5 rounds, that Chase Dolander would have been selected in the 7th round by the Rangers. They had a great relationship with them. They'd really kind of worked it out, and then everything got shortened. He ended up not getting selected in the first 5 rounds, so he went to college. And another bad break there for the Rangers. But anyway, just look at those numbers. Okay, everybody knows how hard it is to pitch at Coors Field in Denver. Everybody thinks, oh, they're so much better on the road. They're 2-17 on the road this year, so they're not real good. They have a 189 batting average. They have a 5.31 ERA. Now that is better by a run than their home ERA. Dolander has
one run.
Yeah, Dolander has a 6.10 road ERA. Freeland is better at 4.18. Sensatella has a 3.79 road ERA, but, and this is crazy, he has a 4.17 road batting average. So if you look at his first starts of the year, they were at Tampa and at Philly, so good teams. And he pitched 9 2/3 scoreless innings in those 2 games, but he gave up 19 hits.
Yeah.
So that's unbelievable that they didn't score. So a lot of luck on his side for those 2 starts that has not held true here. So I would expect that the Rangers have a heck of an opportunity to score some runs this series.
Well, you hope. They are winning right now, should win today, but prior to today's game, they lost 8 in a row for the 3rd time this season. And if they would have lost today, they would have gone 9 in a row losing for the first time since August to September in 2019.
Okay, I don't remember that team, but
there's
not a lot of other people do either. So, yeah. So, but it's a 7-game homestand. The Final Four against the Astros. So, be the first time the Rangers have faced the Astros this year. Yeah, the Silver Boot, which
different team though.
I don't even think the teams players even know exists. The Silver Boot. But yeah, you're right. It's a different Astros team this year. Kyle Tucker's gone. Justin Verlander's gone. They still have some injuries to the pitching. Alex Bregman, of course, is gone. So you enter Christian Walker and Isaac Paredes, who's always played pretty well, it seems, against the Rangers. But yeah, it's a different group. They're in 3rd place. Rangers are in 4th. I think better things are ahead for both of them. If the Astros get healthy, they're in their rotation. They have a chance to improve, but I don't know that they have the offensive upside that the Rangers have.
Right. And Rangers, what's your goal for that series? I mean, 4-game series are hard.
You want to split, and the Astros have been really, really good at Globe Life Field. They're like 23-14 all time at Globe Life Field. Last year, they won the season series. It was 7-6. Only a +3 run differential, so it was a pretty tight 13 games, pretty even teams last year, I thought. I mean, the Astros went on to win the division. They're going to have trouble doing that, I think, this year. But, yeah, it's in the division. You've been playing kind of crummy. At minimum, you want to get the split. If you can win the series, great. But you sure as heck don't want to keep losing these series to division foes. It's your opportunity to kind of put some distance, a little cushion. Yeah. But the Astros did win today after giving up a bunch of runs yesterday. They got a shutout today.
I think El Bombi might really wake up in the Astros series. I feel like El Bombi comes alive.
It's he always rises to the occasion. The big stage, and the crowds will be divided. I'm sure Astros fans will boo him, the ones who buy their tickets and come to the game. So I understand where they're coming from, but he does like being in that environment. He likes that atmosphere.
He likes the moment.
So I think that I think you're onto something. He might have a little chance to do something against this Astros team. But again, got to line it up and play the games. But if I'm not mistaken, they'll see DeGrom and Eovaldi Thursday and Friday. And
there's
then,
your two.
And then Malley on Saturday. So
there's your three, maybe.
Hey, that's a pretty good little trio to run out there if you're looking to win a series against a division foe. And
the rivalry truly never dies, because when the Rangers were playing Boston Red Sox, I mean, Alex Bregman, every single time that he come up to the plate, booed, and will be at Globe Life Field for the rest of his career.
Yeah, right.
It's just the price that you pay.
Yeah, and I guess that Altuve is dealing with a hamstring deal.
Oh, are they passing him around these
I guess
days?
so, but that's something to watch, see if he's available. He's a left fielder now. I got to see that. Nothing like my guilty baseball pleasure is bad outfield play. I love bad outfield play, so I want to see it. But it should be a good week. The Wyatt bobblehead is tomorrow. The cycle bobblehead,
hitting for the cycle. I did see that.
So if you want one of those, plenty of tickets I'm sure are still available. It is the Rockies after all. But a chance to have a good series against the Rockies and maybe continue the momentum from Detroit into the Rocky series, into the Astro series. So we'll see, but there'll be some atmosphere at the Globe.
Well, I was going to say, I think it's lining up well because, I mean, it's important to win over teams that you should beat, but at the end of the day, you should beat these Colorado Rockies. Realistically, you should sweep them.
Yeah.
So, yes, that would be a good win, but I think it's so much more meaningful and adds so much more confidence to the clubhouse when you beat a team like the Tigers.
Yeah.
So beating them, that's your, hey, we can do this. And then the Rockies hopefully should be a feel-good series leading into AL West division play.
Yeah, the Rangers, if you want to talk about the Rangers and bad teams, they beat the White Sox all 7 games last season, but they seemed like they were really close. Yeah. And Travis Jankowski had to make that amazing catch to rob the walk-off homer. And 28 Relics just said he's gun shy from last year at Colorado. Yeah, that was a bad series. A lot of bad stuff happened in that series. Including Evan Carter. That was kind of the end of Evan Carter's campaign, or the beginning of the end. I know I think he went on the injured list either for that series or after that series, and then came off it briefly later in May, and then it didn't work out, and he was back on it and done for the year. So I hear you, Relics. I remember that series. Everybody was like, "Oh boy, this might actually be who the Rangers are."
Yeah, so I do remember that, and that was Andrew Chafin's potential walk-off that he robbed, and that was the funniest.
Oh, right.
I've ever seen
I remember
in my
that.
life. Speaking of, Travis Jankowski had a walk-off.
Did he really?
Rays. Yeah.
Nice.
Happy to see that guy do good.
Yes.
Speaking of who else is doing good, continues to do good, Aaron Judge.
Oh, jeez, yeah. I don't know what's going on today there, but they're in Sacramento where the ball flies, and his average has slipped below 400.
God, what is he gonna do?
Yeah, so we gotta. I don't know if we can take off the Ted Williams watch or not, but to 396 only. He's batting only 396, but he hit 2 homers yesterday. Jason Dominguez hit 3 home runs Friday night as the ball continues to sail out of that ballpark. And and the poor A's, they entered today 8-12 at home, 13-7 on the road. But man, if that's going to be their home ballpark for the next 2 years, who knows how that stadium is going to go?
Yeah,
how fast that construction is going to be. But they're losing 6-1 right now. Aaron Judge, he's only 2 for 3 today with 2 RBI. So his average is back over 400 as we speak. Yeah. All right, let's get that Ted Williams watch on. It's crazy, though.
I think he's going to have his best season yet because
it kind of looks like it.
Well, I just believe in, dad strength. And
oh, boy.
He had a baby girl this offseason.
Okay.
So did Shohei Ohtani.
Yep. Dane Dunning had a girl this week. His wife had a girl.
I did see that too. And did you guys mention that Seager announced he's having a boy?
No, we did not. We did not
Seaver's
do the
having a boy.
reveal, which I watched online, and I still have questions about it. Like
the
did
reveal.
either of them know?
No.
Neither of them
flowers
knew.
behind
The
their
flowers behind the back.
Yeah, a friend handed it to him. So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
get
yeah.
like a pink bouquet or a blue.
bouquet. Yeah.
And so yeah,
So I guess
friend had to buy the flowers.
all right, but somebody had to go in for the sonogram too, and get the results from the doctor. Or did they both? Or did she know? Did Maddie know?
I have no, neither of them know. But I don't know how it all works. Ask your wife.
Well, we didn't do any of that crap.
Well,
We-
talking to the wrong girl.
we wanted to
I
know,
don't
and we
know.
didn't care. We didn't need
Either
to
way,
do
they're having a
reveal.
boy. So
That's cool.
in what 2047 maybe, first pick in the MLB draft.
If he goes to college, yeah.
Could be.
Yeah, you never know. I think. Well, yeah. Corey has two other brothers, so that's 3 boys. So you had to think a boy was a good chance. I don't know how any of that
family?
stuff. I don't know how any of that stuff works either. But.
Again, I think I fell asleep in that science class.
I know there's the X and there's the Y. We don't want to get into that because it might lead to something else.
Whole 9 yards.
Anyway, that's cool. And what's Josh Smith having?
They are not announcing.
Oh, they're not announcing.
I did overhear that in the clubhouse.
Oh, okay.
So that one's going to be a secret. But yeah, there's a lot of new dads in the clubhouse.
Yeah,
so
that happens.
dad strength all around.
Well, Jonah definitely did that. He homered in his first game back after their second child was born. Elvis Andrus had it also after his first kid was born. It's kind of a real thing.
I know.
And today it was Josh Young
Why I said
had Mother's Day strength.
Yeah.
He took care of his mama by hitting the home run and not winning the game, but really helping.
So who buys
Rangers
dinner
to the game.
tonight? Josh or Jace?
Well, I'd imagine
I mean,
they're
Josh
on the
makes
plane.
a lot more.
They'll probably have to the next time through town. It's right after the All-Star break. The Tigers are the Rangers' first opponent after the All-Star break. That's a home series, so I'm going to guess at some point Josh will probably take care of his little brother. That's kind of what you got to do, right?
So they say. I mean, he was like Santa Claus on opening day.
Yeah, but maybe they gambled. Maybe they had some money on the line. I don't know.
I could see that.
I don't know, but Jace is only hitting about 100 right now. I know he hasn't been up very long, and he made that error at third, but otherwise I thought he looked okay. So hope he's able to stay around. Hope he gets going, because that makes for a good story. Hope he's back with the big league club when they come back to town.
When they come back.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's going to be a fun few days at Globe Life, and we're going to be hopefully talking about some really good baseball against a really bad team in the Colorado Rockies. Thanks for hanging out with us today on the DLLS Rangers podcast. Happy Mother's Day, everyone.
We all silly like the mayor.